I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, for attending our meeting this evening. I'll take a roll call, and also I do want to make a statement that Brandy Baston will not be at tonight's meeting due to a family emergency. Angie Farno? Angie Farno? Let the record show that Angie Farno is not here this evening. I am here. Chris, are you here?
I am here, present.
Chris Lytle is here by electronic participation. Clint, are you here?
I'm here.
All right, we have a quorum, so we can proceed. The first item on our agenda is consideration of the minutes from our meeting of October 5th. Hopefully everybody's had the opportunity to review the minutes as presented. Is there a motion regarding the minutes?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion. So it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding approval of the minutes from our October 5th meeting? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Next on the agenda are new agenda items. And I have one new agenda item this evening. I would like to make a proclamation of appreciation. And the proclamation reads, whereas the New Palestine Town Council and the New Palestine residents would like to express their appreciation and to thank Charles Haggerty for his years of donations to the New Palestine Police Department. It is therefore resolved by the New Palestine Town Council this 19th day of October 2022 that we unanimously hereby issue this proclamation of appreciation to Charles Haggerty for his ongoing dedication to the support of the New Palestine Police Department. Mr. Haggerty, if you would please come up. And thank you very much. We also have a very small token of our gratitude.
Mr. Haggard, I would first thank you, and just so you know that 6 of my 7 officers have brand new ballistic vests.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Thank you again, Mr. Haggerty. Appreciate your support. Next item on our agenda is consideration of ordinance number 100522, D as in David. This is an ordinance authorizing the economic bond development bonds and approving and authorizing all other related actions. And because this is a matter that, in my opinion, deserves the full attention and vote by all 5 members of the town council, I'm going to make a motion that we table this item in Angie and Brandy's absence, and that it be placed on the agenda for our next meeting.
I'll second that.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding the motion? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
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 So item 4.1 will be tabled to our next meeting. We'll move on to new business. Next item on the agenda is consideration of the Chamber of Commerce lease. Yvonne, do you have the details on that?
It's the same lease as last year. Doug, did you get a chance to read it?
Yes.
So we're just extending the
We're just
lease for
extending the
an
lease,
additional year?
Same
Yes.
terms of $0 and literally to my, you know, uneducated view, the wording is the same.
Okay. Is there a motion to renew the Chamber of Commerce lease for 1 year? I'll make that motion. All right, Chris, you make the motion and I'll second it.
Sounds good. I'll make the motion.
Okay, I'll second it. Is there any discussion? Clint, you have any discussion regarding this item?
No, I just wish they would sooner or later find their own place.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Clint, thank you, because I know that this is an issue that's near and dear, but it also appreciate you going along with everyone else on that. Next item on the, and so that matter is approved 3-0. Next item on the agenda is the approval of a donation. Is that,
We learned this week that apparently we need to, when somebody makes a donation, have the council approve that donation,
Approve
the
accepting
receipt of
it.
Am I saying it right, Doug?
Yes, Yvonne and I were going over the agenda earlier this week, and she mentioned the proclamation recognizing Mr. Haggerty, and I asked if there was a process for approving. There's not a process required by state law, but the State Board of Accounts requires a process of accepting donations for accounting purposes. So this is just accepting the funds that Mr. Haggerty has donated.
okay. So I'll just make a motion that we approve Mr. Haggerty's donation.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Again, thank you, Mr. Haggerty. All those in favor of approving the donation, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Next item is consideration of what we're going to do on November the 2nd, because I know 2 or 3 council members, the clerk treasurer, Jim, are going to be attending an AIM summit on November the 2nd. So we're going to run into the same issue.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be here either.
That seals the deal right there, Clint. So I'm going to make a motion that we cancel the meeting on November the 2nd, which means the next regularly scheduled meeting, unless something comes up and there's the need for an emergency meeting, which we're always receptive to, as long as we have sufficient time to post notice and do what we need to do to convene a special meeting or an emergency meeting. That would mean that the next regularly scheduled meeting would be November the 16th. So I'll make a motion that we cancel the meeting of November 2nd.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 That motion also carries 3-0. We'll move on to department reports, and we'll start with Chief Ely.
Okay. We spoke earlier about the new vehicle possibly being purchased for next year. I just got a call from Fort Wayne the other day. It's supposed to be built in November. It's getting built out in April. We probably won't see delivery of that until May. So just like everybody else, they're going to be coming back. The other thing is kind of a fun thing. If you look around, you see my officers. Right now, we're kind of storing the grizzly, beers, and the shaving. So what we've done is we take it upon ourselves every year to donate our own personal money to help a family in need around Christmas time. And we partner with the fire department. So for the next 3 months, you're going to see some guys with some pretty nasty, ugly. So it's fun for the guys. What a room. Right? It's, for me, it's killing me. But my guys are having fun with it. So I'm going to give good support. I'm going to play along with them. So if you guys see the officers out there, please forgive them for the next 3 months. So, and I did have a few members in the audience tonight that's donated some money as well to it. So I appreciate everybody that's done that. It's awesome. You don't have to. This is kind of our own little personal thing that we like to do. And we partner with the firehouse. So, and if anybody knows a family that's truly in need in our community, please reach out, send me an email. The more we can give, we may not be able to help everybody, but we can at least start. So it's a fun thing. It's a good thing for our community.
All right, thank you. Jim?
I don't have anything, except the town is volunteering Saturday, 1 to 4, for the Harvest Fest on
going in and out. I mean, they'll get loud.
But there's no current retreat,
No, they probably fit it, but right now I
Okay.
can't.
that we're participating.
Thank you. Steve?
The other thing I have is that the community crossings project for this year is wrapped up. I thought Globe Asphalt did a nice job. And we're already into the application process for next year, next round. So,
Perfect. Thank you.
yeah.
Yvonne?
I don't have a whole lot. We have training last week, training this week, training again tomorrow,
Training in 2 weeks.
training in 2 weeks, and then another day in December. So we'll be rather trained out by the end of December. But no, I don't have anything else of pertinence.
Okay. Anything else? That concludes our department reports. At this time, we'll open up the meeting for public comments. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to make a public comment, just please come up to the podium, give us your name and your address, and state whatever you'd like to share.
Joe Wagner, 4462 South 600 West. There's been some activity on social media, and I believe a lot of these people here, if they want to recognize themselves, they can. But I don't know if they're all here against the TIF, which I am against. So if y'all want to recognize who you are, or if you want to get up there and talk, let them know that you're against it. I know you didn't vote on it tonight, but we'll be back on the 16th, and we'll keep up the fight until then. So we'll see how this turns out. So, but appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? The podium's open.
Hi, my name is Jenny Dropsy, address 2224 South Logan Drive. I just wanted to say something really quick because I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it on the 16th. In regards to the TIF, I understand that the vote is not really about the apartment complex and whether apartments go in or not, but about the TIF itself. And my only statement and my concern is that the whole origination of what a TIF is for was for a blighted community. I don't think that New Pal is a blighted community. I personally don't think that we need to be offering TIFs. I think we can attract business without offering TIFs. I have no problem with growth in our community. My issue is that the TIF is taken away from our public services, namely our schools, our fire department, our police department. Those are the entities that suffer when we offer these large TIFs to developers, and those entities then pay the price, and those end up declining in their quality. And to be honest, the large majority of people that move to New Pal currently, the large majority are coming for the school system because we have good public schools. If we continue to offer large TIFs, my belief is that our schools will suffer. We won't have good public schools, and then it doesn't matter what developments we have if we're no longer attracting people to our community, and that's one of the most desirable features. So I am personally against offering a TIF for that reason.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to what is, well, we're not quite there. Next, we have council member comments. Clint, do you have anything you'd like to share this evening?
Well, I'd like to just say that this week we received a bunch of emails, and I want to thank all the interested parties. Some lived in town, some lived out of town, but I'd like to thank them for their interest in regard to the bond issue.
Okay. Chris, you have anything you'd like to add this evening?
Sure, I'd like to do the same and thank people who were, wanting to talk positively and, inquire with just discussion. That's fine, and I try to answer as many people as possible. And, I know some people didn't like what I had to say, but, I'm not trying to hide or say anything that I wouldn't say to your face, and that's just if you have any discussion you'd like, I'd love to talk to people about things. So I'll tell you exactly what I think and why. And, I appreciate people actually discussing and coming about it like adults. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. And if there's anything else they'd like to talk to, I'll talk to anybody anytime they want.
All right, thank you, Chris. Jim stole my thunder about the Harvest Fest. I was going to mention that. This morning, my day started with a meeting with the Hancock County Economic Development Commission, and I plugged the Harvest Fest. It's going to be this Saturday. Encourage everybody to participate from 1 to 4:30. And then there's also going to be another one of the cemetery tours at 5 o'clock. So it's not quite part of the Harvest Fest, but it is related. Encourage anybody that can make it to that. It should be a fun event. And I will also mention what Chris mentioned, and Clint. As town council members, we're always happy to hear from anybody. It doesn't mean that we're going to agree 100%, but we can certainly discuss any issue that ever comes before the town council. I'm happy to explain my position on any issue, and I think everybody is. Again, and this is something that I learned from Clint Bledsoe, because before, I spent 11 years on the school board before I joined the town council, and there were periods amongst the school board where there's some pretty hard feelings and some contested matters and controversial issues. Not everything is easy. But when I joined the town council, I heard Clint say it several times, but more importantly than say it, I observed Clint Bledsoe live it. We can sit at this table and disagree as hard as possible. But as soon as the meeting's over, we can go to around the corner and have a pizza. We can go to USAC race, whatever it is. There are no hard feelings. And I, for one, greatly appreciate that, because, everybody's here doing what they think is in the best interest of the town, period. And I will say, even though it hasn't been said this evening, and for those of you, and there's probably only one of you, that's been at the majority of the meetings, I personally have been accused of some pretty shitty things. And I take offense to that. And, if anybody thinks for a second that this apartment issue would cause me to do something that I would not be proud of, be ashamed of, is unethical, is illegal, which I've been accused of all of those things, to which my response is, number one, it'll never happen. And number two, if you've got proof of that, don't even talk to me. Go to the Hancock County prosecutor and get charges filed. And watch how quickly you get laughed out of there, because anybody that knows me knows that is absolutely not the case. Again, we can disagree. That's perfectly fine. And like Clint, when the meeting's over, that's the end of it. There are no hard feelings. But, there've been some crazy things said on social media. And we probably could do without that. If you want to speak the truth, and if we have a disagreement, that's perfectly fine. But when you exaggerate or outright lie to people, that's probably not the way I would conduct myself, but that's okay. So if anybody has any questions, wants to discuss anything, I'll be happy to stay as long as you want this evening to talk about the apartment issue, the bond, or anything else. I have nothing to hide. And, we don't have any long dissertation about conflicts of interest, so I won't beat that to death. But if you look at the statute, I do not have a conflict of interest. So that's all I have to add. Now, what I would like to do is move on to my favorite part of the agenda, and that's consideration of claims. Tonight, we are requested to consider APV numbers 24445 through 24501. Is there a motion regarding the claims as presented?
I make a motion, we approve claims number 24445 245 to 24501.
I'll second that.
All right, it has been moved and seconded, which means it's now open for discussion. Are there any questions, comments regarding any of the claims as presented in your backup materials? All those in favor of approving the claims as presented, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries and the claims are approved 3-0. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor of adjourning, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.